Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. RJ here, it's good to see everybody. Today we're going to be doing our second annual interviewing inspiration. Today we're going to talk about our friend Ryan from Georgia. We're going to talk about some of his motivations, what does he like to do, any messages he wants to spread out to everybody. As you guys know, it's Autism Awareness Month, so we'd like to do an interview with him. He has Asperger's like myself, and just like me and him, we must be treated like everybody else. So let's go ahead and get Ryan in here. Hey everybody, welcome. We have Ryan here. Ryan, would you like to introduce yourself to the channel?
Hi, I'm Ryan Lee. Me and RJ met on Facebook, and I'm an autistic advocate, advocating for the autism community to make a difference. How y'all doing?
That's awesome. I'm Robert, as you guys know, RJ. So today we're going to talk about some things kind of like what we did last year with Josh Fielder. So the first thing we're going to do is ask Ryan, what are some hobbies you like to partake in, during the day or weekends? What are some things you do?
Well, I like to play video games, mostly Nintendo Switch, and I like to go to Dave and Buster's to play games, and I like to go to the movies and hang out with friends and do walks around the park. And I also did skydiving for the second time 2 weeks ago because I'm willing to try anything new because I like to take risk and I'm just not afraid to put myself out there.
That's awesome. It's good to, do something that's fun and engaging. And, me myself, I don't do skydiving, but it's good to see someone else that does that's on the spectrum. So how did you get into skydiving? Do you remember?
Well, one of my best friends, Zach Woodburn, he's done it a number of times and he thought maybe I should do it. And I agreed that I should try it because I shouldn't let me being on the spectrum hold me back, because I wanted to show a whole autism community and the world that even autistic can take chances without serious consequences.
Exactly. Yeah, I believe that if you love to do something and you're happy with it, that's it. People shouldn't judge you by what you do. As long as you're comfortable and you're happy, that's all that matters, right?
Oh yeah. And also that people ought to take this advice. There are some things in life you're gonna put off because you think if you're doing them later. But if I've learned anything, is that you gotta live like there may not be a later.
Exactly. All right. That's awesome. I loved it. All right. So the second question we have is, how has Asperger's affected you on a daily basis? Like, what things do you do to overcome these obstacles if they arise?
Well, having an autism was a big struggle for me growing up. I mean, it's like even before I knew I was diagnosed, I mean, I always knew I was different. Like always feeling like an oddball outside my peers. Like always wondering why I couldn't be accepted or why I couldn't fit in, you know? And I'm not afraid to admit that I'm a big hugger. And sometimes like my brain just tells me to do stuff and it feels right. It's like I can't trust my own mind and body sometimes. It's like when usually I'm so in control and the next minute I'm just not.
Right, exactly. You just do things because you feel like in your mind it's, right to do. I feel like when you're on the spectrum, you kind of do things without realizing the effect of them sometimes. So if people tell you, hey, step back, it's kind of a shock because you're not realizing what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, trust me, that's a big struggle for a lot of autistics.
Right. It's hard because when we have these daily struggles, we get through them in different ways. And one way may not be the most effective, but as long as we can get through it, that's good. So all of you people who are out there that have Asperger's, autism, do not let other people dictate your life. You can control that.
And there's one thing about autistic, like we're very aware of our own difficulties and we're extremely sensitive to others' negative reactions. Our emotions carry much more weight, which means we experience emotions much more intensely than neurotypical. Like, for example, RJ, like when my heart hurts and when someone tells me they don't want to be friends anymore or whatever, my emotions just flood through me and I go into this blinding rage saying all kinds of angry and harsh things, even stuff I don't even mean. It's like a defense mechanism when I won't let anyone get close to me by sprouting porcupine quills all over my body to prevent them from hurting me. Yeah. For some others on the spectrum, they can react in different ways, like shutting down. Like every person reacts differently and it takes longer for us to heal. And one of the hardest realities we face, it's like we can be very different from people we're supposed to relate to, because just because you're two people on a spectrum doesn't mean they think alike.
Right, exactly. I believe that just because, we're on the spectrum doesn't mean we should be treated like any different. We should be just treated by who we are, not by our disability.
Yeah, because we want to be loved for who we are, you know?
Right. All right, so that brings us to our next question. How do you stay motivated with your condition? Is there anything you like to do that says, okay, I may be having a bad day, but I do this because it makes me feel good?
Well, I like to listen to other stories of people on the spectrum who are having social awkwardness or whatever. And that motivates me to be the best advocate I can be and to let them know that they are not alone and that they can be loved for who they are.
Exactly. And I feel like that's the whole thing where there's people that deal with things and we don't know how they deal with it. We can't judge them because that's how they live their life. I think we had a conversation the other day about that, right?
Yeah, I'm just working to build a more inclusive community, you know?
Yep. And if you guys remember from last year's interview with Josh Felder, he's a big inclusive person. He likes including people in his life, you know, disability or not. He wants to make sure everybody around him is comfortable and happy with what they're doing. So there you go. All right. So our next question is, are there any goals you have in mind for the near future? So anything with, you know, skydiving or anything new you want to do in the future?
Well, skydiving is just a small hobby. I want to make a career out of it. I just do it for fun. And to be honest, I'm still trying to figure myself out because like, I don't really know what I want to do with my life, but I know I want to make the autism community a better place, you know, and meet lots of new people like I met you.
Yeah, thank you. It's great because there's so many people on the spectrum that we meet and we connect on so many hobbies and things. Like, for example, with me and you, you know, there's a lot of things that externally people say to us, but we don't let it get to us because we know we're worth, you know?
Yeah, but to be honest, sometimes it does get to me, but
yeah,
but I'm trying not to let it because I know I'm worth being a friend. And
yeah.
I know I'm not perfect, okay? And I still have flaws, but who doesn't?
Exactly. And I feel like just because we have a disability doesn't mean we're not able to do anything we want to do. A lot of people say, oh, you have a disability, we should treat you differently. That's not the case.
You shouldn't let it hold you back.
Exactly. And then the last thing we want to talk about is there anything you want everybody to know today, whether that's inspirational, whether that's dealing with Asperger's or any other disorder? Do you have anything advice on that?
Well, advice is like back in college, like a group of people wouldn't let me hang with them because like they thought I wasn't enough of something. I mean, don't you just get tired of going out of your way to prove people wrong when they tell you you're not enough of something? My advice is don't waste your energy doing that because what autism may be a spectrum and maybe some are affected more than others. But the thing is, there is no one way or right way to be autistic or to be anything. It's just you being you. Okay.
Yep.
You know, you're not perfect and no one knows you better than yourself. Okay. And just keep being yourself and people will eventually appreciate you. Okay.
I love that. Yes. Because like we've talked about on this channel before, if you spend so much time trying to be somebody else, you won't find the quality of being you, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So I think the biggest message today is no matter what disability, no matter what condition everybody has, we should treat them for who they are, not for who they, you know, are stereotyped to be. Because there's a lot of stereotypes that aren't true for everybody, you know?
Yeah, because we just want to be loved for who we are. Right, RJ?
Exactly. So my message to end the day is love people for who they are. Do not hate them for their insecurities or for their flaws. Everybody makes mistakes. And in this community, this ever-growing community, we need to learn to love each other and not, you know, discriminate each other for being different. So that's what I would say. Do you have anything else you want to close out with?
Yeah, but it was great talking to you, RJ. And it's great meeting you. I hope someday we can meet for real.
I hope one day too. You're a very nice person. I'm glad I met you. And if you guys want to check out Ryan, I will put his do you want to put your Instagram on there or no?
Yeah, I'll put my Instagram and my Facebook and my website.
I'll do that. So I'll put that all down there, guys. Thanks you for joining there, Ryan. And thank you for telling your story to us, because I always like getting other people's perspectives on how they deal with, you know, Asperger's and other conditions on a daily basis. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, RJ.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us today on interviewing inspiration with my new friend Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much for joining for this show. I will see you guys next year for the next one. We do this once a year. We'll have a new video out in May, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.
Okay. See ya.